Hello YouTube fans, Rad here, and welcome to a deck profile with Kaiju hands using the trading engine. This is an updated deck profile from its original form of Ninja Hands Kaiju with Magic Planter engine, but that wasn't as consistent, and with the new support, the ninjas weren't supported enough since the new monsters are Aqua and Fiend, and they're not covered in the ninjutsu art arsenal. So yeah, I couldn't really use that efficiently enough in the deck, so I changed it back to more of a hand-centric, well, sort of hand-centric, with Trading Engine to replace the Magic Planter engine, because it just gives it a little bit more aggressiveness with the Kaiju sect, and you don't want dead draw all traps and just set them all, and just you have everything clogged up. The Planter's only a 3-of anyway, so it can really clog, and it's quite slow compared to Trading, which is a bit more speedier, although technically has a little bit more dead drawing capabilities, depending on the volume that you're using. So yeah, let's go straight into the deck. We have triple Lava Golem. Lava Golem is the option I've done for my trading engine, because it's one of the better level 8s that basically tribute your opponent's monsters. The other option was Graydle Golem, and I don't really like that card. Whereas Lava Golem gives you a nice 3000 beat stick if you can take back control of it. It inflicts 1000 damage to your opponent if you're waiting on a remove brainwashing, so you can inflict damage to your opponent, then take control of it. And that is quite nice indeed. And essentially it's just used as a trading fodder though, because if it's tributing 2 monsters. But if you have 2 problematic monsters on your opponent's side of the field, it can eradicate those, although it does stop your normal summon set of that turn, but it didn't stop your special summon, so that's quite good. So yeah, essentially Lava Golem is there for trading fodder, but can be situationally effective. I have won a duel because of Lava Golem, well, a few duels because of Lava Golem, so it can work quite well. Then triple Dogoran. This is because this trading engine, usually it would be like a 2-of or a 3. It's 2 to 3 usually, but this one has to have a 3 because it's trading supported. If we get even more Kaiju support that is level 8, I will take out Lava Golems and put those in, depending on how good they are, obviously. Dogoran has the effect of Regeki, basically, moving through counters to do so. And they all have the generic effect of tributing to special summon your opponent's side of the field in a tap position, and if your opponent controls a Kaiju and you do not, you can special summon that monster from your hand to the field. So Dogoran can beat over any of the Kaijus except itself. So you can say you have Gamciel and Dogoran on the field, and you have a problematic monster on theirs. Say it's Kali Yuga, 35. Summon out the Gamciel by tributing the Kali Yuga. Special summon Dogoran. Dogoran beat over Gamciel. Now you gain control of the ball because you have a nice 3000 beat stick. So that's always good. Then, triple Gamciel. This is one of the best supports they could have gave for Kaiju. It's quite balanced actually, because if you don't have remove brainwashing up and you have your Kaiju counter set, it can really hinder you. However, if you already have the remove brainwashing set up, you get a almighty monster. Its effect is that when a card or effect is activated, you can remove 2 Kaiju counters to negate the activation and banish it. So it has an Infernoid effect, which is what I'm dubbing it, because it has Munsu and Deviati's effect combined, which is very, very powerful. And it's not once per turn, so that's just limited by your Kaiju counters, which can be manipulated somewhat, but in the Pendulum era it's a bit harder with the Kyoto Waterfront, but can be sped up with Kaiju Capture Mission. Depending on the further support of Kaijus, it could become even more powerful. And it's level 8, so it's a 3-of in the deck. Then 1 Raiden. To be honest, I don't like the card. It does bring out an extra beat stick for you to beat down with, but it's level 7, and it can still not beat over Dogoran. So it's alright. It doesn't really give you anything more than just OTK potential. But the deck doesn't have that much OTK potential there anyway, so Yeah, there's issues, but Rain's still a 1 of at least. Most play 2 though. Just our personal preference, I play 1. And then double Kumungus. Originally triple Kumungus before the new support, but double Kumungus now since I'm using a trading engine. Its effect is basically lose 1 turn for when they are normal or special summoned. So that's very powerful indeed. Definitely combos well with Gamcia, which can stop those spells and traps, and then Kumungus can stop those monsters. So fun and so powerful in that sense. Then 2 Fire Hand, 2 Ice Hand. I'm thinking of re-adding these up to 3 because they can be they can be quickly beaten down if you don't have enough of them. So I'm thinking of adding another 1 of each to the deck, but I am not 100% sure. It could clog it, it could possibly cause issues, but so far they seem to be fine with 2 2. Ice Hand has MST effects, and then switches from Fire Hand. Fire Hand has a Exile Force effect. That's essentially them. Then 2 Owner's Seal. This is my personal preference. I prefer to have a lot of snatch dealing when I don't run a Graydle form of Kaiju, because it just makes sense, essentially. Owner's Seal is good for every Kaiju and Lava Gun except Gamciel if there is Kaiju counters on the board, because Gamciel can negate it, obviously. But essentially, Owner's Seal can really screw over your opponent and take control of those monsters. Say you've put a Lava Gun and a Dog around on their field, you get 2 3000 beaters for nothing. So nice. Then 1 Regeki staple. Free trading. I went for trading over Planter because it's just a little bit more aggressive than the latter form, because you do it in your turn essentially, and you don't have to wait for that trap card to become dead, and you don't have to waste your trap cards either. You're not really wasting any of these because you're gonna probably draw into some more of them, and if it's Lava Gun, you didn't want it in the first place anyway. So yeah, trading quite nice, and it also helps you with the Kaiju counters, giving you another counter for that. So, and then again, Magic Planet gives you 2, but plus the minuses. If most likely there will be more support for level 8 in the Kaiju sect than there will be for continuous traps, so the trading engine will get better over time. Then 1 terraforming just to get into that Kyoto waterfront. Very good and very needed. And 2 Kaiser Coliseum. I could have this to 3, but I feel like that will clog. Kaiser Coliseum locks down pendulum decks, so they can't mass summon, exceed decks, synchro summon decks. The only decks that are really not hurt by it are Kaiju Mirrors, because there's something out there big beater anyway. Monarch somewhat would be not too hurt if you do went Erobeus and then with the field spell intact summon out their one of their big boss monsters. It could cause you issues there. Mujians wouldn't be hurt by it. And Cosmo ain't hurt by it that much. It just stops their OTK potential somewhat because they can't use E-Telly. And that's about it. They can't use Strong effectively. But Kaiser Coliseum can lock down so many of those decks and cause a lot of issues. It is quickly becoming one of those floodgates that are re-emerging. So why not play in this? Then we have triple Kyoto Waterfront, our field spell. Each time a card is sent from the field to the graveyard, place 1 counter on this card. Maximum 5 if it would be destroyed, remove 1 counter. And when you have 3 or more counters on it, add 1 Kaiju monster from your deck to your hand once per turn effect. Very good, very needed, perfect field spell for this archetype. It's not broken, but it is good enough to be better than, like, say, for example, the Ignite field spell. This is a lot better than that. Then, double Storming Mirror Force. Originally this was triple Storming Mirror Force, but the Cosmo matchup isn't bad, and I wanted to add Skill Drain into the deck, and this is the only one I really want to take out. I may put it back in at 3 and take out 1 Call or Haunted, but I haven't 100% decided on this. So for that, 2 Storm Mirror Force, good for the current meta. Then we have 1 Vanity's Emptiness. It's fancy images. Do I need to explain that? Then we have 2 Kaiju capture missions. This one you won't see in many Kaiju decks. This is because people will term this as a dead card. It's not going to give you much. I've had instances where it's been alright and it can stop things, and it's good in the mirror match because then you can just set your monsters. I'll set their monsters or set your monsters depending on what do you want to summon, and bring out probably Duggarans or stuff like that. So that's always good. But I usually use it for its MST bait appeal, because if it will be destroyed by an opponent's card effect and into the graveyard, you draw 2 cards. And it's an if effect, so it doesn't miss timing. So with a lot of players playing MST because of the Pendulum era, and with the arrival of Twin Twister in January, Kaiju Capture Mission will just keep getting better and better in this deck, giving you those 2 draws. And there is a way of making sure they destroy this, where it's a bit hard to make it out in this deck. Although I may be thinking of making Clown Kaiju just to use this combo, but I haven't decided yet. Then one Skill Drain. Skill Drain hurts everybody. Everybody's running it now. Inferno'd run it. Cosmo are running it. Burning Abyss are running it. Cliffball are running it. They've always been running it. But Skill Drain can really hurt a lot of decks. Magic Spectre is not going to be happy with it. Pepe is not going to be happy with it. Cosmo will be a bit indifferent about it. You'll stop Good Witch and Wicked Witch and their boss monsters from popping your stuff. But they already run one of these anyway, so you don't have that much issues. They don't have that much issue, to be honest. But Skill Drain, one off, lovely. And that's about it. All your effects are, you don't really need these effects all the time. This doesn't have any real effect you want, and these activate in the graveyard, so there's no minus from this, to be honest. Then we have Triple Remove Brainwashing, one of the most key cards in the deck, and a great way of actually making this meta again. Well, making this card meta now, because Graydles are a threat. And same for Graydle Kaiju. This also helps quite good in mirror match, because this is not Graydle form, and if they try to snatch the deal monsters, you take them back anyway. So that's always good. Always good there. And Remove Brainwashing is just a continuous floodgate that will just mean your Doggerans can get free tributes on their field. Gamciel's out. If Gamciel is going to be summoned on the board, flip your Remove Brainwashing first, because you don't want to get negated. But if you bring out a free negator of more or less anything, it's very powerful. This card is going to be tantamount to Miss Valley Apex Avion and Magician Pendulums. So that's very fun and very good. Then 2 Call Haunted, just to reborn your dead Kaijus, or give your hands another go, in case they got Abyss Dwellered. And then 1 Solemn Warning, stable for the format. For the extra deck, we have 1 Ptolemaeus. Ptolemaeus is used to go into Durandal, not Diamond. Diamond is just there in case you have a bad dark matchup. But Durandal is essentially what you want to bring out. Although most of this XC deck you really won't go into, but you have the options there. Mainly because I want to change their MST directory to the Kaiju Capture Mission, and Durandal can do this somewhat. Unfortunately, it doesn't get to choose. King Goron is a little bit better in that sense. Then Gaga Cowboy, Burn, Abyss Dweller, Burning Abyss, Emerald, restore your Kaijus, Diamond, get over Floodgates, Castell, Floodgates, 82 for that extra 2000 damage, number 101 because it's 101, Ivagishki Mirrorgeist for the mirror match, for like Graydle mirror match, in case I've already used my Dweller and I want to bring out something a little bit more feisty. You can also help quite a bit against Yang Xing. Then number 103, Ragnar Zero, just in case you get your Senju mirror match. Oof, not nice. Then King Goron, as I said, redirect MST to Kaiju Capture Mission and get 2 cards. which is lovely. And this is why I want to make the clown deck centric Kaiju form, because I want to abuse King Gorongon's effect with Kaiju Capture Mission. Then one Dark Rebellion Exceed Dragon, because it's just a nice beast stick. Diamond, as I went into, and one Felgram, because you can't bring out a level 7 in this deck since they have control issues. You can bring out a level 8, rank 8 I mean, because you got Lava Golem and Doggoran together. So that's quite nice there. As options for the side deck, I would suggest the Graydles. I didn't want to go in as a Graydle deck because I wanted it to be different from the status quo of Kaijus. I wanted to have something more feisty, something a little bit more driven with the Kyoto waterfront, and something that's not going to be hindered by my remove brainwashing. And the Kaiju and the Graydles have a little bit more engine than like hands do, since you would have to run like three of these, one of these, two of those. That's not gonna matter. Three of these, one of those, and one or two of those, and one or two of those. So there's issues. It would clog out the deck, and I'd have a nice Kaiju centric deck. Then a deck that's gonna make your opponent really pissed off. This will piss your opponent, but this will really piss them off. But side decking would be the best call. So probably some. I would say, well, there's nothing really that gives you any plus on there for the destruction effect. So probably an eagle or a cobra or an alligator, maybe one of each, just to help. It's up to you, depending on what you would like to do. I think that's the main side deck card you can really put in. Everything else would be like generic. I'd say Imperial Iron Walls for Cosmo and Infernoid, Maxis, Effect Veilers, all that usual stuff. But the main side deck card you probably would want to use is Graydles for the deck. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. I do love the deck and can't wait for its further support. And the deck will be modified then. But this is what I'll probably be running for the November format if I was to play Kaiju's IRL. I usually play Master Spectre IRL, so never get the chance. But this is the deck I love. So thank you for watching. Please leave a comment below if you have any suggestions for the deck or suggestions for my channel in general. Please like, subscribe if you enjoyed this and want to see further content. Matarant signing out.